Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. This watch is a 2025 launch from Vacheron Constantin, specifically for UAE markets and UAE retailers, but documented as having been offered on occasion at retailers outside of the UAE. It is, in any case, an extraordinarily rare special order item, part of the Historiques collection of living legends brought back from Vacheron's grand history. This is the 1921 American Eastern Arabic numeral in platinum. It's the full-size 40mm case, and you can see not only does it feature Eastern Arabic numerals in green, but also a spectacular, highly granular and textured silver-white dial. 40mm in diameter in platinum. You can see it's 8.6mm thick, 46.2 from lug tip to lug tip, with a nice broad and modern 22mm spacing between the lugs. Now, whether this watch truly was designed as a driver's timepiece back in the day, it's actually based on two different watches, one from 1919 and one from 1921, although we've gotten quite a bit more modern and, of course, more focused with the Eastern Arabic dial. This specific variant is very much its own thing. If it was a driver's watch, I would say today it's more of a dress watch, a beautifully flat and seamless option that can wear with impeccable taste and pair with almost any sartorial circumstance. Casual, you better believe it. Dress up, black tie, there's nothing this watch can't handle. Don't swim with it, but this is a very versatile, one might say slightly formal watch. And I say slightly formal because it's not colored gold. It does have a wonderfully sort of rakish quality about it. This is not a patrimony, this is not a traditionnel, this is a watch designed to be versatile. And I definitely see this being worn far outside of the scope of formal attire. The strap, green with large rectangular scale alligator leather. It's a matte finish. Large rectangular symmetrical scales, always a very expensive and upscale cut of the beast. You can see that in order to drill the lugs close to the case, a curved spring bar is used, so there's no interaction between the strap and the case. There's a full range of motion. In profile, the strap has been cut and green lacquered to clean it up and refine. The aesthetic on the bottom, you can see it is made in France with calfskin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging. This watch just came out for 2025, so very few of these are in circulation. The Maltese cross motif, the logo of the manufacturer on the pin buckle. And one of the fun features of the modern day 1921 is that it is a monoblock case. You can see there's a case back and everything, the movement and the dial loads through the back, but the case itself is one piece. There's no seam between a separate bezel and the case. Then the lugs are welded on, and you can see that they're nicely executed, welded on, and then filed manually to create that super sharp break between lug and case. That's very old school case making. It's the way we like to see this done because it is artisanal. We have that Maltese cross again on the crown, manual wind, 65-hour power reserve. The dial with green Eastern Arabic numerals on both the primary dial and the sub-dial note. And then there's a bit of a countersink to subdial with an azurage or concentric pattern on it. We have lovely modified Breguet style hands with a chemin de fer outboard, the railroad track scale for the minutes. A lovely look and a unique aesthetic. This is the first example of one of these I've seen, and I think it may be a long time before I see a second. So even by the standards of my job, this is a rarity. Flip it all over and you get a known quantity. You can see that Geneva hallmark of both movement and case has been a standard for Vacheron since, well, about mid-2012, when it became a full watch standard for fit, finish, materials, and quality, not just a movement standard. Of course, this year, 270 years of Vacheron Constantin. We like to remember that it is the oldest, never-defunct, continuously operating watch brand in Switzerland, and this little mark right here will be unique to the anniversary pieces. Taking a look at the movement itself, it's nicely sized for the case. A platinum watch, it's got impressive heft on the wrist, 30 meters water resistant, manual wind, 65-hour power reserve, courtesy of a very large mainspring barrel, Geneva hallmark finish. You can see it in abundance. We have off-centered solarization on the crown wheel, which I love. You can see its solarization of the crown wheel core specifically. Lovely snailing, which I believe is technically called colomassonage, on the barrel cover. You can see that solarized snailing grain. We have beautiful anglage, which is undoubtedly hand-finished, mirrored and rounded. And we have a couple of inward angles where you can see that sharp inward creases are created by the junction of bevels, so you get those too. We also have a few well-executed tapered outboard points, and you can see right here some of the locating pegs that are used to locate bridges on underlying structures. Those have been polished on their top. 4 Hertz beat rate, 21 joules, 5-position adjustment, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. It is beautifully executed with very narrow stripes, and a lot of folks will say that narrow stripes are the most luxurious because they require the most precision passes by the abrasive wheel. While I also enjoy broad stripes, there is something to be said about more stripes creating more opportunities for a mistake to occur, so they are very fine and special when they're particularly narrow and parallel. And then you can see that there's beveling inside of each of the jewel and screw sinks, which I really like to see. A beautiful watch and a rare opportunity. Like I said, technically an historic design, technically a dress watch, and yet, in fact, probably something you would be tempted to wear anytime you don't need to submerge a watch. This is a watch that can do it all. For the UAE, of course, but for the world beyond, you better believe it. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.